The Chicago Bears are playoff bound. An overtime win over the Green Bay Packers where Soldier Field was absolutely rocking. Caleb Williams was clutch. DJ Moore, walk-off touchdown, and yes, it helped seal the deal. It ended up helping seal the Chicago Bears their first playoff appearance in 5 years with a little extra help from the Pittsburgh Steelers and, unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers. We're going to break out the standouts from that game, the standings, and where everything shakes out right after this. What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central and every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content today. Guess what? For the first time in 5 years, the Chicago Bears are in the playoffs. In 2020, the Bears made the wild card. Some people count that as the playoffs or not, but that was the last time the Chicago Bears were in the postseason. And due to a little help from old crackhead himself, Aaron Rodgers, the Chicago Bears are now officially in the playoffs. But things aren't secured and locked in. They have not officially even won the NFC North yet. And that's going to be first what we talk about. What are the scenarios for the Chicago Bears to officially lock in the NFC North and the number one seed in the NFC? We're going to talk a little bit about that. But, hey, let's just take a second here to just relish in the fact that the Bears are in the postseason. The Bears are in the postseason. 11 wins, 2 games left to go, and the Bears have already got the postseason locked in, and that feels really good. It's been such a long journey to get to this point, to making it from Matt Nagy, who had some initial promise, down to Matt Eberflus, who had no promise, down to now Ben Johnson being here for this team, and what this already means for this franchise to have this as the first season under this coach of Ben Johnson. It just feels great. And it feels like what we've been saying. The Bears are truly building towards something meaningful. And that is the important part of all of this. They are building towards something. And whatever happens, right? We'll talk about whatever it means once the playoffs are over. But this is the first time in a while where it feels like the Bears actually have a path. They actually have a destination. They actually have a goal. They actually are moving forward. And while we felt that briefly under Matt Nagy, we found quickly thereafter that was a mirage. So I get it. There are going to be some Bears fans that are still a little have a little trepidation about letting themselves fully be engulfed in this moment. But I tell you what, I'm right now going to let myself live in it. I'm going to allow myself to feel with this moment and what this has become for the Chicago Bears, because this season has been tough. It hasn't always been pretty, but guess what? We have gotten it done, and it's led us here, right here now, to where we are as a team, and that's great. And like I said before, I know it's kind of a passionate rant after the post-game show, but people are worried so much about what the win looks like. I think that they have not stopped to think about how consistently the Chicago Bears have been winning, how that has been happening for this team, and we haven't felt consistent winning like this in a long time. Almost every other time that we felt like we were getting some momentum in winning something, we end up getting punched in the face and have long losing streaks. It happened last year, right? Some people felt like it was going to happen this year after starting off 0-2, but the Bears have really turned things around, and getting revenge on those cheeseheads on Saturday, it felt that much more better. And then it was the cherry on top for the crackhead Aaron Rodgers to take care of business and get the win over the Detroit Lions so the Chicago Bears can lock some things in. But let's talk about what's been done so far, what still needs to happen for the Chicago Bears to lock in some stuff. So as it stands right now, we are officially playoff bound, right? And that's because of us taking care of our own business, overtime victory, all that type of stuff. Then, because of the Steelers getting the win over Detroit, it is now locked in the Bears to the playoffs. Now, the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers are going to be fighting over, reportedly that wild card spot. That's if the Bears lock in the NFC North. We'll see what happens there. Before the Bears to lock in officially and be kings of the North this season, the Bears just need one more win. One more win gets it done, or a Packers loss. Any combination of the two. They don't need both. They just need one more. One more win locks us having the NFC North crown. If we lose and the Packers win on Sunday, the Bears just need to win that last game against the Detroit Lions to then lock in the NFC North title. So the Bears have 2 opportunities to get this done, really kind of 3, because you got to factor in the Packers loss as well. The Packers can lose no more games the rest of the way. Even if the Bears do lose out, we still get that, right? So, but the Packers can't lose any more games if they still want a shot at the NFC North. If they do lose another game, they still have a shot at the wild card, but the Bears lock in the NFC North. So that's what it takes for us to win the North as things stand right now. So that's what we're going to need. We have right now the inside track. It is in our control. It is in our destiny. We just have to get one more win. We got 2 games to do it. Now, I would love to see the Chicago Bears get a win over the San Francisco 49ers so that way they can lock it in. And then at that point, we can just move on, right? We can rest some players in the final game against Detroit because we'd at least have the NFC North. We'd have a bye week locked in. And I think that's important for this Bears team. If you can get that, you want to give your team an opportunity for that, to get an opportunity to get back healthy, to get an opportunity to kind of regroup, resettle, refocus before heading into the playoffs. That's what you want to give this group if you can, and we'll see. We have the inside track now, and listen, we just need to lock in one more victory. One more victory, we can get it done. So we'll see what happens there. If the Bears get this victory over the San Francisco 49ers, we get the appearance. And then at that point, like I said, we can not take a week off, but we can sit some key starters in the game against the Detroit Lions. Now, with that said, if we do lose on Sunday and the Packers do win against the Baltimore Ravens, I believe they take on, then we have to get one more or hope that the Packers lose another game. So that's what it comes down to that. But then if you look at the NFC standings, because people have asked, can the Bears still secure the number 1 seed in the overall NFC? And yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility. As it stands right now, the Seattle Seahawks are number 1 at 12-3. The Chicago Bears are at number 2 at 11-4. The Eagles are right behind us at 10-5. Then you have the Panthers at 8-7, the Rams at 11-4, the Niners at 11-4, and the Green Bay Packers at 9-5-1. Right? So the fact that the NFC West is going to have 3 teams in it is absolutely crazy, but it is what it is, right? So that's what needs to happen for the Bears. Now, if you look at the chance and you want to talk about the Bears potentially getting the number 1 overall seed, we're gonna need the Seattle Seahawks to lose the game. That's what we're gonna need to happen. And we'll see what happens there. If the Seattle Seahawks can lose, and let me see who they take on next week. Give me one second. Can't believe 3 teams at the NFC West are making it. That's absolutely ridiculous. So the Seattle Seahawks, their remaining 2 games on the season. It would take forever now to pull it up as I'm recording this episode. So they take on the Carolina Panthers on Sunday. And then in the last game, they take on the San Francisco 49ers. That game has not been scheduled. It's scheduled for a flex because it could become very important in that last week of the season, especially with them being in the same division. So that's how things are working out there. And, so if the San Francisco 49ers lose both the next 2 games and the Bears can win the final 2, the Bears can still be the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. So you're going to look at that. If the Bears want that number 1 seed, they're going to have to win both games. Now, there's a huge possibility that if they win the next game, they sit their starters against Detroit in the final game, and they don't even worry about the number 1 seed because they're getting a bye week one way or another. And I think that's the right decision. If you lock everything in, you just worry about the fact that you get a bye, get healthy, and that's what you focus on. Don't worry about anything else. I think that's what needs to be the key here for the Chicago Bears. And you definitely want to try to avoid the wild card if you can. And so if you lose next week or this week, then you want to try to get that victory in the final game. So that's where things sit. And, it's in the Bears' control. Just keep winning. That's what it comes down to, is just keep winning. If you keep winning, you can achieve everything that you wanted to this season. And that's great because you are ahead of schedule. The Chicago Bears are ahead of schedule. And that's what feels good about all this, because not only have they done something and done it through playing playoff type atmosphere in games, they've built something that now it's in their control. They've won at a level that they don't need luck just to get into the playoffs. It's in their control now. And we've earned that right. We've earned that through. So all the hate and talk around Caleb Williams this season, all the talk and doubt around Ben Johnson at times this season, shout out to my boy Darius, who got a voicemail from him, but remember he called Ben Johnson the next Matt Nagy. But, Darius has admitted when he's wrong. So I'm not saying that to shoot, but I'll just say that because he's the guy's name that I remember said that. But there are some people that even doubted that, right? Some people that doubted the overall talent on this roster. There's some people that doubted the draft class, right? I remember somebody saying, hey, Haize, because none of the players that we drafted are starting, that makes it a weak draft class. And I'm like, just wait. And now look how that has turned out. The Bears have one of the best draft classes in 2025, period, right? I'm not saying the best, but they do have one of the best. And it could end up turning to one of the best with Zay Frazier, Ruben Hippolyte, and and Shamar Turner not really playing a big role for us because of injuries yet. And we'll see how those guys develop over time. So this has been a season where things have all come together. Now, we got to get through the last two games. We got to get through the postseason. But at the end of the season, I am going to talk about what the Bears need to make sure they do to prove that this is not a fluke. That's a wait to the end of the season thing. Know that content's coming, though, because I'm not somebody who just hangs in all the positive or stays in the negative. I like to talk about all sides and things, and there are some things that the Bears need to make sure they do this offseason so that this season is not a fluke. But we got to finish the season before I can say that, so we'll see what we do on that one. But overall, take time out as Bears fans to celebrate, to be excited, and then let's lock back in because the Bears are going to need this energy because we need to lock in the NFC North. It's great that we're making the playoffs. We're playoff bound. Let's get to the NFC. Let's get this NFC North crown and never take it back. With that said, I do want to acknowledge because we didn't have our normal episode right after a game. Bobby and C-Dub had to catch up on the mailbag. I want to talk about the winners from this game. No losers. I'm not pointing out a single loser in this game. I want to acknowledge Caleb Williams. It wasn't the prettiest game from Caleb Williams. It damn sure wasn't a perfect game. It was a game that at times had us stressed the hell out. But when it mattered the most, and what Caleb Williams has done all season long, when the game's on the line down the stretch, the ice man cometh. And Caleb Williams has ice in his veins in that fourth quarter. When you look at the game-winning drive in overtime that we had, the drive that we had to even tie the game, all those type of things, what Caleb Williams did in that time period was orchestrating the offense, was running the offense, and he showed a level of poise and execution that we absolutely needed when that was done. Finishing with a 98.9 passer rating, 19 of 34, 250 yards, and the late game heroics that Caleb Williams gave us in that game, he absolutely deserves to be acknowledged in that. And with that, the two players that he threw touchdown passes to need to be talked about in that one. The pass to Jahade Walker to force overtime. Let's talk about Jahade Walker for a second, right? One of the guys that came into this was a preseason darling because, the Bears had some players that they signed, as every player does. Only played in 6 games leading into last game. Him coming up clutch. The chemistry looked like he had with Caleb in preseason was something that paid off big. And because he scored a touchdown at a time where we needed it the most, you goddamn right, I'm going to give some love to Jahade Walker because we don't win that game without him. Rome Odunze, Luther Burden were down and out. Olamide Zaccheaus had not as bad of a game as we've seen before, but Jahade Walker stepped up when we needed it, and shout out to him for what he was able to give the Chicago Bears because he was one of the darlings in that game. Next up, DJ Moore. What more can we say about DJ Moore, man? People saying that he needed to be traded. There's some people that are like, oh, he's clearly our best wide out and wide receiver. The truth is somewhere between those two things, but I don't care. When Luther Burden and Rome Odunze were out, and Caleb Williams and DJ Moore had that chemistry in this game to secure some things, they came out and did that. DJ Moore battled throughout the game, getting knocked down early, and we knew he was going to come back because DJ Moore doesn't miss games, right? When that late hit by Nixon, fuck you, by the way, Nixon on that one, but leading the Chicago Bears in receptions with 5 receptions, 97 yards, that 46-yard touchdown from Caleb Williams that was thrown in 20-mile-per-hour winds at that. DJ Moore and Caleb Williams, they cooked up in that last game, and they both deserve to get that. So Jahade Walker, DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, they deserve to be celebrated for what they did in that last game, but we're not stopping there. 2 special teams players need to be acknowledged as well. First up, Cairo Santos. What Cairo Santos was under, he's had a lot of criticism around him, rightfully so. I want to be clear there. I'm not saying that the criticism has been unjust or undue because it had. But when you look at what he did, 3 field goals in that game, for a long time was the only Chicago Bear to score. A 51-yarder, right, with the wind at 20 miles per hour as well. That was amazing. Connecting on the extra point as well that we needed was great. Cairo Santos, we don't win that game without Cairo. And I know that we have the thing here where C-Dub hates kickers, but you got to acknowledge Cairo Santos for what he's been able to do in that last game. And he doesn't miss kicks against the Packers, really. He really does not miss kicks against the Packers. And so it's good to have him to rely on because guess what? Playoff football, we're going to need those legs. And hopefully Cairo Santos is locked in, ready to go because we're going to need his performance. We're going to need his production. And if we get it, the Bears are going to be in a pretty good place. Next up, Josh Blackwell. You got to give him credit for what he was able to do, right? When you look at how he was able to get that onside kick, get it out the hands of Dobbs in that. We got the ball back with 1 minute and 56 seconds left, and that was great to see. That whole sequence starts with the kick from Cairo Santos, but also Josh Blackwell and the recovery on that. So, whatever, he did on defense or did not did, Josh Blackwell had a big impact, a major impact in this game. We don't win this game without Josh Blackwell, period, point blank. So shout out to him. And then the only defensive player I'm going to put on this is not saying that he's the only player that made an impact, but he's the only player that I do want to acknowledge, TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds getting back on the field. They've both been injured throughout times. We haven't had a bunch of them a lot. But when you look at what he did, 10 tackles, a half a sack, and 1 QB hit in that game. He had some big stops as well, getting a stop on Malik Willis as well in overtime on a 3rd and 1. And then one play later, the Packers turning it over. TJ Edwards is a dog, and he's the type of Bear that we have all talked about. We want to see him in a Bears uniform for a long time. He has the look, the feel, and the production of a Chicago Bears linebacker, and I'm glad that TJ Edwards is on this team. And, we're going to see how that continues to play off because we're going to need you big time in the playoffs, my boy. But those are the players that I want to acknowledge. We do got 2 voicemails that I want to get into, man. This one's from Darius.
What's going on, man? Darius from Dallas. I just wanted to call in real quick because I'm getting ready to watch this Steelers versus Detroit game, and I guess crazy how God works, man. For the first time in my life, I'm sitting here rooting for Aaron Rodgers. But I definitely would like for us to go ahead and clinch the North today. So I will be cheering for Aaron Rodgers, unfortunately. But I just wonder if we clinch the North. Like, I want to see do y'all think we should keep on trying to win so that we can get the seeding? Maybe there's a shot that we can go get the first seed, and maybe that's what we should be shooting for. Or, hey, maybe it gets to a point where it's obvious the Rams are going to lock down the number 1 seed, and it doesn't really matter where we're seeded at, as long as we can, get a playoff game in is how I see it. Injuries have been such an issue for us this year. That I get a little hesitant, a little cautious that, since we have, surprised the world this year and gotten to the playoffs, I really want us to be as healthy as possible, man. We can't go into the playoffs down our 2 best receivers. We just absolutely can't do that now. I'm super proud of DJ for stepping up the way that he did. And, he's one of them receivers where the more you involve him, the better he ends up getting. So I'm glad that he's finally getting some of the touches that he felt like he deserved, and probably most people felt like he deserved. But he can't just carry the wide receiver core on his shoulders for the rest of the year. We really desperately need at least one of those guys to be back next week. But I wonder, man, do we just go ahead and just shut these guys down for the rest of the year? And let's go into the playoffs with a healthy DJ, a healthy Burden, a healthy Adunze. Maybe dial Colston Loveland back a little bit, give Cole Kmet more playing time. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm jumping the gun a little too soon. But I feel like we're playing with house money. And, I think at some point we need to talk about sitting some guys out. Hey, we made it to the playoffs, man. I know we want seeding. I would love nothing more than like a number 1 seed and have the playoffs come through Chicago. So if we got an opportunity for that, hey, go take it. But if not, hey, man, let's dial this thing back and let's get ready for these playoffs. Bear down.
We clinched the playoff berth, bro, but we have not clinched the NFC North yet, right? So we still need one more win to clinch the NFC North or a Packers loss. Any combination of that gets us into that. So hopefully we get that and we lock that in this week. But as I said earlier, I really do think if the Bears lock in the NFC North and thus lock in a bye and they're not going to be a wild card team, I think that the Bears are probably should sit starters against Detroit, because at that point you just don't want to risk with the injuries that we've had this season. I don't think that I want to risk potential of getting another player injured when everything's locked in. Now, I guess you could say if the NFC North crown, if the NFC crown is up for grabs, there's a little bit of thought to go ahead and go for it. But I'd say this: if we get that bye in the first week of the playoffs, that's the most important thing. We'll worry about the rest later. That's the way that I look at it. I don't want to see the Bears try to push for something and then that ends up leaving them ass out. That's not what I want to see from this team. So I think that's the thing that we have to focus on and look at, and we'll worry about the rest when we worry about the rest. We've been road warriors all season long. We'll get to host at least one playoff game in that case, and I think that's perfectly fine of being at with where we are in this stage of the Chicago Bears and our development. That's my personal opinion. All right, let's get into this next voicemail, man. This one's from the 618.
Bobby, hey, C-Dub, Steve-O, Kevo.
Finally, the Bears have come to Chicago. Bear the fuck down. Finally, we got a winning season, and thanks to Chicago Bears Central, it's been a beautiful one, bro. Hey, thank y'all, bro. I bless y'all, bro. God is in everything. We have our first winning season on Chicago Bears Central. Hey, but for real, y'all think the Pope got anything to do with this? Hey, this is amazing. Bro, this is amazing, bro. This is an instant classic game. Bro, I can watch this game 4 times over, but I couldn't watch it 30 minutes or an hour over in the beginning. Man, they killed my heart once again, bro. I thought it was over with. But never turn off the TV messing with Chi-Town, bro. We don't never fall or fall down, bro. We don't never bend. That's the thing, bro. That's what keep me in it, because I know these boys don't just lay down. They lay people down, man. This has been a good season. Hey, Bobby. Hey, y'all drink the Kool-Aid now. Let's take it back. Let's take it back, bro. What I'm saying. You like, you know me can it. Me. I can't even explain the excitement, bro, because if you're a real Bears fan, y'all know what this means and how this feels to us, bro. This is excitement, bro. This going back to when we had Matt and we missed that double doink. If we never missed that double doink, we're Super Bowl champions. You hear me? We have that opportunity to go right back in to that situation again. We hold our own destiny. Bro, man. God, morning, bro. But I want to thank God for the breath to even breathe on this phone, to even get my message out to you guys, bro. The Bears are doing what I said again before everything started, bro. And it's looking better and it's looking good. Oh, my God, bro. Hey, once again, we here now. We here now. And we might gonna lose some coaches, but it's okay. We ain't worried about that. We gonna worry about the rest of this year and finish out strong, bro. Let's go. Super Bowl aspirations, but playoff visitations. I love y'all, bro. Y'all already know. Shut up. And
it's been a fun season. It's been a very fun season. But it's not done yet. It's not done yet. It is not done yet. We got 2 games left to play. There's still some things that we can shore up this season. We are not done yet. And we got to see how this Bears team attacks it. But I trust Ben Johnson to have these guys ready, locked in, and ready to go. As far as the Pope, that's hilarious. As far as the Pope helping us with things, but I'll say this about this team. This team has already shown us their resolve. This team has already shown us how they can get the mental toughness and fortitude of this team when the games are on the line. Go out there and continue to show that to us. Let's go out here and get some dubs, man. Let's get one more win. One more win. We got everything pretty much locked in with that one more win. I'm satisfied with that. I'll take both of them, but one more win in the regular season. And then we'll start talking about what the playoffs mean. And I don't want to jinx anything. We're just going to leave that there. But just know, once the season is over with, we got a lot of things to talk about. The regular season's over with because we're getting into playoff predictions. And I'll just leave that there. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in, man. You guys already know, man. Enjoy this moment. You've earned it. The Bears have earned it. 5 years of frustration that this team has dealt with. Rebuilding again, questions, drafting, changes of coaches and front offices, all those type of things. But this job is not done yet. The division is still there to be taken. We still need to go out there and get it. And so seeding still matters for this team. Let's go out here and lock this in for this team, and we'll see where we're going to be. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel as well. You can follow us at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that is thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has has been a presentation of the Break Media.